when you feel that you are not excited about signing more clients, you are kind of doing it for the money, but not even a slight excitement is there. Even if I have team, I'm not happy. Like, this is the sign, this is the feeling that actually is kind of showing you that you are probably very, very ready to go into the expert role, expert direction, expert position. And if you will not act now, you will be so resentful. You will get so resentful for your own business, for the thing you have created from the scratch. Hello and welcome back to the Life First Business Podcast. So today I actually wanted to get real personal, and I wanted to share today's episode about not just my own story, but also from stories that I see a lot from other service providers, other coaches, and other people who are actually delivering a service and actually doing a job and executing a project or a service. And today I actually wanted to talk about how I shifted from being a done for you service provider into expert role, expert position, and growing my own brand, my own online presence, not just as a service provider, delivering actual service and selling and delivering service and doing everything at once, but how I shifted into being consultant, strategist, whatever, somebody calls me a mentor or whatever, into a consulting role. So basically, from doing the actual work and delivering the actual service into consulting, strategizing, and not doing the actual execution in someone else's business. Okay. And why I decided to create this episode is because I don't know how many times I get this question in my DMs and from people that I know that, hey, Christine, like, I'm doing this and I'm very good at my job and I'm actually pretty much on and on booked out, but I'm starting to feel like something's missing and I actually want to shift into consulting, but I don't know how to do that and how not to, like, because they're scared of their income. If they will stop doing this, what's the guarantee that they will get the same income here, right? Because they took the time and they took the energy to build their brand, to build their services, to build their clientele, into shifting completely into consulting, strategy, whatever, right? So this is such an often question that I get asked in my, I think everyday life, because and that's why I wanted to create this episode. Let's get into it. And I will start from very beginning because I do really want to share my own story and tie it back together from what I see now, what I can tell you from being in this position as an expert and as someone who is not doing done for you services for, I think, over a year, year and a half, something like that, which I'm very excited about. And also sharing what you can do if you are feeling this kind of like disconnect between your offers, between your brand, and feeling like something else is calling you. And may I even say that you have outgrown your current role and you're kind of scared to pivot. So let's start from very beginning. I think it was back in 2020 when I first started my business as a service provider. I literally had a 3 months old in my arms, my son, and yeah, I just started delivering services. I was a podcast guesting expert and strategist, and I was very good, may I say it, at my job. I delivered incredible results right away, and I worked with so many clients. Within 1 year, I worked with clients globally, all over the globe. And I worked mostly with coaches, experts, and service providers. And I think the first impulses that I started to feel that I have outgrown my current role was the fact that it was so natural to me when people said, yes, of course, I want to work with you on a sales call. There was no rush. It was like very natural to me. I already knew coming in what what needs to be done for this client, what needs to happen. I already had the whole vision, and I understand that I'm very good at my job. So it kind of like the excitement was not there, I guess. And the second thing I noticed, the second thing is when I started to feel that I light up in the moment when my clients start asking me my opinion. They start asking me, maybe we can do another strategy session call, or maybe you can teach this to my clients. And I was like, whoa, like this is cool. And I literally started to getting these questions like from time to time, because I was working with coaches and experts and they had their own audiences. And they pretty much, like, I think every month or so, started to ask me to host a workshop, to host a masterclass. And I understood that I'm actually very good at this and people are really interested in how I'm doing the service. But they don't necessarily want to hire me, but they want to learn to do that themselves. And this is the time and place where I noticed that, oh my God, this really lights me up. Like teaching, sharing my knowledge, sharing my methodology. And I also noticed that doing the actual work started to kind of feel like this, like exhausting period of time. I don't know how to explain it. I felt like I have totally outgrown my current role. But to be honest, I was so scared of shifting completely, because at the time my clients were, I think I was charging like 1200 per month for each client. So I kind of very quickly grew to 10K months. That was like 5, 10, 8K months was pretty normal to me. And I understood that, okay, with more clients, it starts to feel like more delivery, more job, less freedom, more management, because I already have two assistants working for me. And I was like, okay, I need to manage her, I need to manage this, I need to do ClickUp. So it felt like, okay, I was growing my agency, but I was like, I would say micromanaging also my staff basically. And really more clients started to feel like more delivery at the time. And I noticed that when I was hosting masterclass, when I was doing workshop, I was like, oh my God, this is so fun. And also, my clients started noticing and asking me questions about offers. What could be the best call to action? What do you think about this? What do you think about that? And I really naturally stepped into expert role without even realizing it. But I think even before my second baby in 2022 and 2023, I was absolutely working as a strategist, as offer strategist, without even realizing it and without even charging it. With my clients were just asking me questions and we were literally strategizing what could be the best offer, what needs to be created. And we stopped talking about just visibility and podcast guesting. We were talking about like bigger business picture. And honestly, if you like feel the same when you are hearing this podcast episode, when you're hearing this video, is like, oh my God, this is totally my life. This is totally my life. Like, I could do this, like, I could do courses, I could do programs, because the actual work is not like lighting me up. This is exactly why I record this episode, because you can absolutely shift into an expert role without necessarily stopping serving your clients completely, and stop the income as well, because that's the scariest part. If you say yes to this, you kind of think, oh my God, but what will happen to my clients, what will happen to my income, right? So I want to tell you that actually my full shift, I think, happened year during 1 year, like fully. And the decision I had was to shift completely was when I had a baby number two. I understood completely that even if I have team, I had a team at the time, and I was like realizing like, oh my God, I actually don't want to do this. Like, I don't want to manage nobody. I want to do workshops. I want to share my knowledge. I already actually had time to thrive. This is, I think, the second or the first time when I already had time to thrive. And I realized this like, oh my God, even if I have team, I'm not happy. I'm not excited about the sales call with potential client. I'm not like, this is not like my soul is not there anymore. So it was, I think, around Maya was just born. It was September 2023. And it was then and there that I decided that I want to get certified as a professional coach, as a mindset coach. And I want to be better at asking questions. I want to be better at helping my clients with communication, with better communication, with effective communication. And I remember that this was the time when I made a decision that I want to shift completely into being an online business strategist, into helping others with creating their business strategy, offers, visibility, all that stuff. And because I had such a big experience in visibility field, this felt like a very natural step to me. And actually, during that time, I kept a few of my clients, and I kind of say that they funded my shift. Okay. They, while working with my clients in smaller, lower capacity, I actually finished my coaching certification. They paid my business expenses, my taxes. They paid salaries for my team. All that was done thanks to, being an online service provider. And while still building my brand as a coach, as an online business strategist. So the shift for me with a baby number two, with a small baby, with the breastfeeding, took about a year for me personally, because I was not very active. It was not like I'm doing this. I was doing it slowly, taking step by step and understanding what I'm doing. So I'm here to tell you that it does not have to be super fast and like you have to say no to the clients and now you are fully booked as an expert. I don't really believe you have to do that. If you are super capable, if you are fast, if you know that this is the right decision for you, and if you are like all or nothing kind of person, go for it. But if you are kind of like unsure about this, it's okay to take your time. And I want to tell you that for me, it was the way to go because I was working with my clients, managing my team while also building my brand as an online business strategist, launching my offers and creating my offers all at the same time. But I did not but I did it with not just like this huge pressure on myself, right? I did it step by step, month by month, month by month, while still being a very present mom. I worked, I think I had nanny when Maya was 8 months old, and then I started to mm, work with nanny. It was like maybe 2 hours per day. Then it was like 4 hours per day. I think, yeah, something like that. So I'm here to tell you that you don't have to have this like all or nothing mentality, but you can do it with time. And with this shift, I also want to tell you that my drive, my excitement got back. And this was the best part, the feeling that I felt and the intuition. I kind of like let go of the control and I went into where my heart is wanting me to go. And this was the best decision. And you can just feel it in your body that you are going into the right direction. So for me, it took a while, but I'm here to tell you that it's totally normal and it's totally okay. And I will now get into actual, like, uh, you can say it's signs, so you can understand whether you as well are ready for this shift or maybe not. So I think the sign number one that I mentioned before, and I know this 100%, is when you feel that you are not excited about signing more clients. You are kind of doing it for the money, but not even a slight excitement is there, okay? Not even a slight excitement. You are going to the sales calls, you are doing all the work, you already know that this client will kind of sign with you, right? But you feel that something is missing, but you don't know what exactly. But the first sign is that you don't get excited about new clients and you start to feel like more clients equal more work, less freedom, and basically less of your life. So this is definitely the sign number one. I would say the sign number two is when you feel, when you're talking with a client and you're talking about, what needs to be done and you have a plan, and of course you talk about execution and you have your to-do list. But in the conversation, when your client is starting to ask you like higher questions, about the strategy, about the future, about the vision, where are we going? What do you think about this? What do you think about that? Maybe about pricing, maybe of our offer, just like a whole campaign, maybe even. This is the sign where you are like, oh my God, like I'm actually good at this. Like people asking me these questions. Like this is the sign, this is the feeling that actually is kind of showing you that you are probably very, very ready to go into the expert role, expert direction, expert position. Okay. So don't ignore this sign. Uh, because when you hear people are saying to you over and over again, you are very good at your job, you're very good at your job, you do you this well, and people start asking you questions, don't kind of downsize it and like, oh, yeah, thank you or whatever. But actually, you hear it and uh, you hear it and make it to yourself like as a sign, like, okay, people are actually showing me the way. Maybe I should listen and maybe I should go there. So, sign number three is that you feel that your income is staying the same, you're plateauing, or even you're going less, uh, with zero excitement that you have about new clients, right? So what I mean by that is you have your high cash month, but to keeping up with that, it's just asks so much of you. You feel like exhausted all the time. You feel like, okay, I hit this like 10K months, 5K months, 8K months, whatever. But your body is just saying, like, oh my God, I don't want to do that again. And you just feel that you are kind of pushing yourself into doing that more because you understand in order to hit the same numbers, whether I need to raise my prices or I need to have more clients or I need to do more of X, Y, and Z. And this feels like pushing yourself over and over again. So this is definitely a valid sign that you need to stop and kind of like restructure your whole offer system and restructure your whole business, because it's okay that you evolve. And also it's okay to understand that even you do raise your prices, you cannot like do it like forever. Something has to change in your offer structure or in the way you work. Okay. So income not growing or growing very heavy is definitely sign number three. And sign number four, you are thinking all of the time in the background in your head that you would love to launch your own program, your own course. You would be great, at helping people to get X result, but while not actually doing the job, but with consulting, with sharing your knowledge. Maybe even you're thinking about like creating your own membership, your own podcast where you share your own knowledge. So this is the sign that you actually have to do it. Because the sooner you start to build community about your knowledge, about your experience, about your skills, the better it would be for you. So if you are actually experiencing these four signs, girl, I'm telling you right now, you need to start thinking about your business structure and how you can actually scale your business without doing actual work, right? Start thinking about program, course, whatever it is, about actually not trading your skills and your hours for money, but how can you package up your knowledge into an actual viable online format, whatever it is for you, right? So this is the sign that you have to start like seriously thinking about it. Not just like, I should think about it, but like actually sit down, start to list out what can you do, what could this look like, what can it look like income wise, what will happen month after month, and what's the length, what's the clients, right? What's the client problems, what's my offer promise, all of those things. This is the time and place where you definitely should start thinking about it, and not just thinking about it, actually outlining it. Honestly, I could talk about this like for so long because I have been there. I've done the service providing, phase, and I'm now in the expert phase. And I can tell you right now that these four signs, these are so valid. And if you will not act now, you will be so resentful. You will get so resentful for your own business, for the thing you have created from the scratch. And it's just sad, right? It's just sad because you have invested so much time, so much energy building your brand, building your clientele, and now you're just like, "Ugh, I'm not feeling it anymore. It's not the vibe anymore." And actually it does not have to be like that. You can actually take what you already have, restructure it, and actually it can bring you even more income and more freedom, just changing the way you do work And another thing, if you really resonated with what I'm saying right now, please, I would love if you could just share this episode, tag me in, and share your journey, because I honestly hear this, I think, a couple times per week. To be honest, if a service provider is messaging me and saying, okay, I love your content, I see that you have been in my shoes, maybe you can tell me like what's the next step for me, because I feel that there's simply no way for me to continue like that, because I feel that more clients start to feel like more work and I'm not excited about it and I'm not here for it. So I would love to see you in a workshop. Of course, if you want to work with me, I think the best option for you would be Time to Thrive. So link is in the application, because that's exactly, the link will be in the show notes, because inside of Time to Thrive, this is exactly what we will do. We will map out your offers and we will actually start to execute. So you are not alone in this, but you have me by your side every step of the way. So you're not just only mapping out your offers, your programs, but you understand what needs to be done in order for you to sell these spots consistently, for in order to sell clients, sign clients consistently, I'm sorry. And also what to do with your done for you clients as well, because I don't believe that you have to completely stop your done for you service business. It's an amazing business, it's bringing you income, right? We will figure out how you can combine both, maybe for a time being, maybe you can combine it whatever you want, and how you can shift into being an expert in very like healthy way for you, not with this like huge pressure on yourself financially and personally about, being online all the time and knowing what to say and knowing what to post, because I hear this all the time that service providers create these huge pressures on themselves, on their brand, and that they need to show up every day perfectly. So, if you resonated with this, I would love to hear from you. Just DM me on Instagram or share this episode. I would love to hear from you. And thank you so much for listening. And I will see you in the next episode.